Hey everyone, Mazer here, and I would like to welcome you back to another episode of WTF Games You've Never Played. I know it's been a while since our last episode. I would like to take a moment to apologize, but we are back and it's time to talk about games. In our last episode, we covered the Lynx Atari and one of its launch titles, Electro Cop. Today I would like to continue down the path of the Lynx Atari and talk about another title, Gates of Zendocon. Now, as I have lost the instruction booklet for Zendocon, I am unable to remember what the storyline is. However, I will explain it the best I can. You play as an intergalactic space warrior who must travel through various dimensions in order to find whom I assume is Zendocon, a giant brain crab who lays millions of space eggs. With Zendocon spawn on the loose, it is up to you to play Galactic Exterminator and hunt them down. There we go, that seems close enough. Zendocon is a side-scroller space shooter. Try saying that 4 times fast. All in all, it's pretty basic. You fly left to right while avoiding obstacles and shooting anything that gets in your way. What isn't basic is the way you proceed to the next level. The game is very non-linear. There are several different gates that you locate throughout each level. You see, once you get to the end of a level, there's a chance to skip the exit in order to find a different gate. Sometimes these secondary gates appear right away, but most of the time the game puts you through a gauntlet of increasingly difficult enemies before you are allowed to leave. This forces players to ask themselves, do I take the easy way out or do I risk my lives to warp further ahead? But not every gate is what it seems. You see, the developers were very tricky with this game. Due to the fact that levels are represented by letters instead of numbers, players never know just how far a gate has taken them. This means the first gate you come across could actually warp you 5 levels ahead, while the more difficult gates may just take you to the next immediate level. Sneaky, sneaky! With that out of the way, let's talk enemies. The enemies are what make this game. Usually in a space shooter, you'll go against alien ships or war machines, and on occasion a flying space brain with claws. Zendocon don't do that. Here you'll fight everything from floating eyeballs, space jellyfish, falling mechanical blocks, atomic dust bunnies, gray wigglers, and even creeper dragons. The variety of enemies is enormous. The moment you think you've seen it all, something new shows up to wreck your day. Speaking of wrecking your day, let's talk about the ship itself. As you know, most shooters follow the whole law of one hit, you're dead. Yes, there are exceptions to this rule, but a majority of games in this genre still follow it. You get hit once, you die. Not Zendocon. In fact, it takes 3 solid hits before your ship explodes, and every time you take damage, you lose a vital part of your ship. If you get hit once, you lose your shields. Twice, you lose your gun, forcing you to use the powerful but very inaccurate mini-bombs. One more time and you're as good as dead. And if you are able to make it to the end of the level, you'll be given a chance to repair your ship. But be careful, the repair dock has the tendency to malfunction, and if you don't time your landing just right, you'll get blown apart. But don't worry, you're not alone in this adventure. Along the way, you'll find various weapons to help you out. We've got things like floating eyeballs that shoot fire, some kind of weird floating vegetable thing that shoots wave beams, and this teensy tiny little spark that attacks any enemies that come nearby. Oh man, and the levels. The levels themselves are so weird. One moment you'll be flying across the peaceful backdrop of space, and the next you'll be soaring through some kind of fleshy green mass. You'll find yourself in black voids full of space junk, flying through robotic factories, destroying alien military bases, and even exploring what I can only guess is the lining of a gigantic stomach. And if you were lucky enough to survive all 51 levels of the game, you'll finally come across Zendocon itself. Now all you have to do is avoid its crazy little space crab eggs, hit them in the eyes, and boom! There you go! You've beaten the game. Gates of Zendocon is definitely a strange game, but it's also a very good one. The controls are tight, the hit detection's spot on, it has fantastic variety in both enemy and level design. The colors are vibrant, the music is fun to listen to, and the sound effects are quite interesting. It's not a long game either. Now, normally people consider this a bad thing, but when you take into effect this was made in 1989 and designed for, quick bouts on the go, that's pretty good. I was able to beat it in just under an hour, but you have to take into effect that I've beaten this game several times before this review, so I knew what to expect. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, Gates of Zendocon for the Lynx Atari. I am Mazer, and I hope to see you next time as we continue our journey through the games for the Lynx Atari.